Hello everybody, I'm Hoarder Gamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. I want to thank you all very much for joining me. We're going to have some fun today. Unlike all the other shows, today we're going to have fun. We have some reviews, talking some TV, we're going to toy around a bit, then we're going to look all the way into the future of comic books, all the way to 1 week from today. So, I hope you buckle up and fasten your belts because excitement is headed your way. First off, we're going to start with our first comic book review today. Rogues Gallery #1, and it is a wild book. It's really good. It's incredibly meta. It is so meta that I believe it was Heather Antos said that this might be the most meta comic book she's ever been involved in. And like at one point, her last name and Justin Mason's last name show up in this book. And it really kind of breaks the fourth wall. The story's wild. It is basically comic book fans and almost like people in Comics Gate upset about everything being woke, just freaked out because their favorite TV show based on their favorite comic book in its 10th season basically had what they considered a terrible, I'm not going to say their actual word because we really don't swear on this show, but they considered the finale terrible and the worst thing ever because, you know, it's like internet hyperbole, right? And then all of a sudden the lead actress decides that she's quitting and they won't recast, the show is over. So these people that have the mindset of almost like comic gators and just actual comic fans, one or two of those as well, they go, this is insane, as the cosplay of characters from the comic book, and they basically, almost like the Purge, attack the home of the actress who quit the show. And this is one of those few reviews where I need to tell you what happens on the final page, or it doesn't make sense. However, this book is worth getting even if you know the ending. I'm very looking forward to issue 2. I want to see where it goes. One of the visuals has me like, okay, is some of this real? Do some people have powers in this world? Because the second to final page shows her beautiful like mansion, and it looks like it's on near Mulholland Drive or something like that. Like it's on the gigantic hill and these huge windows. Like it looks amazing. And then the panels have like leaves moving, and then slowly the fans in their cosplay are approaching it. You cut to the next page. Wild scenes of action and violence, and the lead actress dressed as the character she plays in the comic, beating the hell out of everybody. So I don't think it's going to go for the fans the way they thought it would. I don't know if this is a mini-series. I think it's an ongoing. If it's ongoing, I have no idea where this story goes from here. Like, you know, it seems like you could finish the story if you wanted to in 2 or 3 issues if it was just that encounter that occurs at that house. But I'm guessing some craziness happens. Rogues Gallery is really good. I like it a lot. I like Justin Mason's art. I like Hannah Rose Max. Oh my God, forgive me. I gotta blow this up a little. Honey, oh my God, I can't see it. Is that May? Oh my gosh, I feel so terrible right now. If I'm reading that correctly, Hannah Rose May. Hannah Rose May. Again, sorry about that. The names do not show up well as like, you know, the actual cover titles and everything else do, you know, so I'm sorry about that. But yes, I really like Rogues Gallery 1. I recommend it. I'm looking forward to issue 2. I will definitely pick up issue 2, and I'm interested in even like beyond that. Now, to give you an idea, I liked another book I read a few weeks ago, Above Snakes. I thought that was really good, and I'm definitely going to check out issue 2, but it didn't like grab me and make me want to see what the heck's going on here. One of the neatest things about this issue is that there's a character that's kind of like the wallflower or the milquetoast and the complete antithesis of the other characters, meaning like a nice person. And it seems like when the actress decides to leave the show, it seems like this is the beginning of their supervillain turn, like in real life. It looks like, unless there's something with the different shadowing in the comic, it looks like they dyed their hair a different color, and they're extremely like serious, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It reminds me a little, if you've seen the movie Hostel 2, they set up these two people that are going on vacation and to, you know, do the hostile thing. If you've seen the movies, that means torturing somebody for money. But they set it up where this one guy is like super macho, super tough, and kind of like making fun of the other guy who seems more emotional and grounded. Well, they're pulling a switcheroo on you, and it's just the opposite. And that person is monstrous. But yeah, I really like Rogues Gallery. I thought it was really good. That is our first review for today. Next up, we're going to talk about TV. Talk about the old television. The finale of Ms.Marvel. So it was Ms.Marvel episode 6. Not number, it's not a comic book. I thought it was really good. It's interesting too because it's kind of timely, because it involves police raiding a school, and these like clever gimmicks and almost like a Home Alone vibe as they're trying to protect themselves in the school from the damage control, the damage control team. I liked it. I thought it was really good. The girl, the dude that Kamala has a crush on, his powers are out of control. Kamala's powers are the only thing that can stop him. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm hoping it gets another season. I think more likely it'll be in the Marvels movie that we see her again, not probably Ms.Marvel season 2. I don't know how many shows are actually getting second seasons. I really want Moon Knight to get a second season, because I'm hoping vampires will be in it. Vampires are a big part of Moon Knight, and it would be neat to see. Like Blade could show up. Like, a lot of cool things could happen. Dracula. Someone might be like Morbius. I don't think Morbius would show up, but yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, and as a whole, I thought the entire season was really good. I liked Iman Vellani a lot as Kamala. I thought it was a great performance. Again, I likened her to this awesome kid sister I never had a brother or sister, no siblings to speak of. But like, yeah, she's just great, and she's so energetic and so happy and like upbeat. It's hard to dislike her. Dracula comics would be nice, or werewolf. Yeah, I mean, you could have like creatures of the night. He's basically the protector of humanity at night. That's kind of basically what Moon Knight is. And yes, vampires, werewolves, all those things. Scary magic users, all of that. How you doing, Misplaced? Vampires. I'll be bringing up vampires a little bit later. If I forget, remind me. This isn't the time when I'm talking about TV for me to get into that. But and no, it's not like real life encounters. No, it's not. Man, that time I hung with those vampires in Salem, Massachusetts, that was amazing. No, that didn't happen. Or did it? It didn't. It might have. It did not. It did not. Anyway, we have some vampires we're going to talk about now that are TV related. So these we can talk about right now. One of my favorite shows of the last 4 years. 4th season just started last week. What We Do in the Shadows. It is this awesome documentary about vampires living in Staten Island, New York. And it is excellent. You have Nandor, who is this like ancient barbarian warrior who had, I think it was 70 wives. You have Nadja, and she basically is partially crazy and a little scary. And her husband is extremely artistic and just ridiculous. And then you have Guillermo. Guillermo is like their not a familiar so much as like their caretaker, especially Nandor's caretaker. And he was promised for years that Nandor would make him a vampire. And over the years, he developed a crush on Nandor. And it's just been a really awesome show. Really well done. Very funny. Tons of really cool guest appearances. And it was based on a movie. Same title, What We Do in the Shadows. But that took place in New Zealand. And Taika Waititi was actually, I believe, the director of that. And he stars in it, too. So, but yeah, great show. The 4th season just started, and wacky vampire hijinks. I could not recommend that show more. It's one of my favorites. And we'll end our TV talk with Better Call Saul. There are only 4 episodes left. Do not start watching now. Start from the beginning if you can. I will say that these first 2 episodes of this, final 6 were amazing. Like, simply jaw-dropping. Very great. Very great episodes. And, I'm not trying to, I don't want to spoil anything, but the last episode ended in such a way where it could have been the end of the entire series. And I was like, is this the end of the series? Because it wasn't a great ending, but it wasn't a bad ending either. It would have technically worked thematically. But there were like 4 more episodes left of Better Call Saul. So I was like, okay, wow. So there's at least like 4 hours more to continue telling this story. And it's also the prequel of Breaking Bad. So if you liked Breaking Bad, I think you'd absolutely love Better Call Saul. But they had one of their most dangerous and scary antagonists in last week's episode, and that story came to an end. And this week's episode was the terrifying, insane repercussions of that event. And excellent. Phenomenal writing, acting, all of it. I believe Bob Odenkirk and Rhea Seehorn are both nominated for Best Actor, Best Actress Emmys. Awesome show. And with that, everybody, it is time to toy around. I hope you're ready to toy around. Because I certainly am. Because I waited a damn year for this. A year! Like last July, I ordered this. That is Crocmaster from G.I. Joe. He's in Cobra. He's one of the bad guys. And that's Fiona, his crocodile. Look how big Fiona is. Fiona is bigger than Crocmaster. Crocmaster is like a 6-inch scale figure. I absolutely love this. This is really awesome to me. As a kid, Crocmaster was one of my favorite characters, and when G.I. Joe Classified started happening, I never thought they would release that character. I honestly thought, because the line started coming out right when COVID did. I kid you not, it was like March or April 2020. Terrible timing. And a lot of the action figures were hard to find. They were way behind on shipping. They had to actually, luckily they decided to do reprints and slight paint job changes to make collectors happy, of course. But they kept the series going, and it's still going. And they even have a HasLab Hiss tank with like all these crazy characters, and the tank is like this big because it fits a 6-inch figure. So yeah, the series is doing well. And if you watch the show before, you know I collect the Cobra characters. To be cost effective, as well as those were the characters I loved. And as a kid, because I've always been a bit screwed up, I would have rival factions in Cobra fighting for over who controlled Cobra. Like Tomax and Zaymot would have their faction, and Destro would of course have his faction, his Mars faction. Yep. I didn't have a lot of G.I. Joe characters. It was almost all Cobra. And I turned out fine. But no, I'm really happy that came in. It was like a year lead time. So like, this is a normal toy release. Like, I think you can even pick this up like at Target or something like that. But like a year ago were pre-orders for this thing. Now, I'm going to show you some other craziness from the world of toys. First off, we're going to start real small. We're going to start small but cool, okay? It's like a miniature ice cube. Beware the Court of Owls. Talon. So everybody, Gotham Knights is coming out. I want to say it's October 25th. And the Court of Owls are supposedly the main villain. As far as we know, they are. That's what Warner Brothers said. The Talons are their soldiers. They are dead. They're very strong. They have training from all sorts of disciplines, from acrobatics to martial arts. All of them have different skill sets, but they're all masters of those skills and very dangerous. And because they're dead, you can't kill them unless you freeze them. And basically they were, you know, they're also haunted by the memories they had when they were alive. Scott Snyder created this story arc, Court of Owls, in Batman, and it's one of the best. I like it a lot. There's some decisions I didn't love, but just the idea of these haunted soldiers forced to kill for these rich lunatics in Gotham, and how this has been going on for, I think it's 150 years. I don't want to ruin the new game for anybody because I've read the comic series, but what I can say is Dick Grayson will be very important. Nightwing will be incredibly important in the game. If they're following the elements, at least, of the comic. But here's Talon. And I like his detail. The only other Talon figure I think they did, well, they did two, actually. There's small scale Batman figures that are like 3 3/4 inch. And they did one of him, nowhere near as detailed. And then DC Direct had a Talon figure. This one is actually by McFarlane Toys. So I like this one quite a bit. And they're the Court of Owls, in case you didn't know, because owls are the natural predator of the bat. Away, Talon, away. Next up, you're going to think I'm evil for showing you this. This is something you will not be able to get. And it's not like I'm like, nah, boo, boo, I'm getting it, you aren't. I'm not getting it either. Make that clear, I'm not getting it either. But like, it was available for a pre-order. If you didn't get a pre-order in, you basically have to deal with the devil and pay an insane amount of money more than the insane amount of money this thing was. But I do want to show it off because it's shipping very soon. And if I cover toys and don't show off this thing, I feel I've made a mistake. Galactus. So, you're like, no big deal, that's just an action figure with little itty bitty action figures with it. Each of these is 6 inches tall. Galactus is 32 inches tall. He has like over, I think, 70 points of articulation, including like 20 in each hand. He can make an entire fist. He can give the peace sign. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. He has numerous face plates. He has a head here you cannot see, that's not in this picture, that lets him become Doom. There's Norrin Rad right there, also known as Silver Surfer. And really, you got to admit that this action figure is pretty rad. No ignoring that. These are all his, not acolytes, heralds. These are all of Galactus's heralds right here, and each one is 6 inches tall with accessories. This thing has numerous LEDs in it. It weighs, I believe it's 4 pounds, if I recall. But the thing is wild and awesome. Now here's the thing. You had to pre-order this a year ago on HasLab. So Hasbro.com and Hasbro Pulse has a thing called HasLab. And basically you pre-order, and if another pre-ordered, they'll make the item. If not, you're not charged, no harm, no foul. This got 17,000 pre-orders. And the price at the time was $400. I'll repeat that. It's $400. Now, the cheapest I've seen him is $700 or $800 from secondhand resellers. He's not even in hand yet. He'll be shipping in like the next couple months. But they had one to show at San Diego Comic-Con, and this is him with all his details and everything. It's a gorgeous figure. But like now, if you tried to get one, it would be secondhand market, and it would be probably $600 to $700 at the least. I would say closer to $700 or $800, just based on what I've been seeing for it. But at $400 with each figure, which is like $25 if you were buying Marvel Legends separately, so that's $75 right there. This thing is 32 inches tall with a number of accessories. I could actually kind of see that price, especially with the cost of plastic going up. I can see the original price at $4. I can't see what it's become. But yes, I apologize again. I feel that is something I did have to show, because I feel that if I didn't, people would be like, nothing about the new Galactus? Hoarder Gamer, what's wrong with you? Where's the new Galactus? why not the new Galactus? Why are you disappointing us, Hoarder Gamer? Hoarder Gamer, you suck. See, all of that would have happened. Not just in my head just now, but in reality. Okay, next up, we got something for TV and comedy fans and toy collectors. Dun 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 dun. The Office. The Office Lego set, and it is awesome. Stanley has his pretzel from Pretzel Day. Kevin has his pot of chili that he spills. The TV in the meeting room has like decals on it, or it might be painted, I'm not sure, of actual elements from the show. Pam's desk is over here. Jim's is here. Dwight is right there at his desk. If you like The Office, this is an amazing set. And I definitely had to show this. Also, for the 1,100 pieces and the insane amount of minifigures. So you're looking at one. I'm going to try to get all these. Forgive me, I might miss some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see here. 9, 10, 11, 12. I might have missed one or two, but there's at least 12 minifigures in this set. And yeah, I think it looks phenomenal. It is $120 retail. That's the regular price for it. For a Lego set, that's actually reasonable for one this size. And with this much detail and everything, this is not an insane price. There's also an awesome Seinfeld set if you're a fan of that show, and that one's much less expensive. That one's $80. And that one's wild because it's the Seinfeld, it's like the interior of Jerry's apartment, plus it's the cameras above it, and like the idea that the audience is watching. It's really cool. It is, and like for that price, and you know, obviously there's licensing costs, right? I feel that's a good price for both Seinfeld at $80 and Office for $120. There's some Lego sets where I think like, oh my god, that's insanely expensive, but I don't feel that on those two. Although I'm sure that licensing for something like Star Wars or anything Marvel is more expensive. It has to be. It has to be. Everybody, I have saved insanity for last. Some people say the best for last. I saved insanity. Everybody, I give you, trust me, it's worth me covering my face to show you this craziness, Eternia. What you are looking at is a recreation of a very difficult and very expensive toy playset to get from the 1980s from He-Man Masters of the Universe. This is a monorail, and there's actually a vehicle that probably can hold figures, I'm guessing, that goes around the monorail. There's this gigantic statue with this, I think it's a wolf head right there, and this other wackiness around it. This was just basically officially announced at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if there's a price yet, but when I found this picture, no one knew what this was. They were like, maybe this is just a mock-up for something so they could show toys off at San Diego Comic-Con. Because if you see, there's WWE right there toys. So you can see it's like a big giant display, but like a professional one for a trade show. But yes, this is apparently from San Diego Comic-Con, and that is Eternia. Now, if I remember correctly, I saw Eternia once in my life as a kid at Toys R Us. Once I saw this giant damn thing. It was $200. in like 1985, 1986. Like, one of the only things that was like that expensive was like the USS Flag, the giant aircraft carrier from G.I. Joe, which was massive. Oh my god, that thing was absolutely crazy. I only knew one friend who had that thing. But yeah, this is Eternia. And I had a lot of He-Man figures, but I didn't have Snake Mountain or Castle Grayskull or Eternia. I had a friend who had Snake Mountain and another one who had Castle Grayskull. But I had quite a few figures, so don't feel bad for me. I had quite a few of the actual He-Man figures. Also, too, I was big into Voltron at that time. So, but yeah, those are the toys. And that is the end of us toying around this week. Now, wait for it. I'm going to look into my crystal ball. Going to look in the crystal ball into the very future, the future of comic books, all the way to 1 week from today. Okay, everybody. First off, Ant-Man. What is his power? Well, of course, he ants and he mans. Gets real small like an ant, becomes big giant man. Easiest way to sum up Ant-Man's powers. Anyway, this is exciting because this is some wild book written by L. Ewing, one of the best comic book writers currently, one of my favorites. L. Ewing did the awesome Immortal Hulk, the phenomenal Rocket. It's Rocket Raccoon, but Rocket from Marvel did like a 6-issue miniseries, which got traded, so you can actually pick it up. 6 issues all together. Phenomenal. Absolutely great. I was disappointed it wasn't an ongoing series, but that was my only disappointment with that book. It's a mix between comic book and prose, and it's a 1930s noir heist story that takes place in outer space. It's really great. And now L. Ewing is doing this Ant-Man story about a date between him and Janet, also known as Wasp, and somehow things go topsy-turvy, and it becomes a story involving all the Ant-Mans through history. So we started with like the very first version of Ant-Man right here, and somehow this book, in the solicit it mentions, it covers all of them. And I think it does that in 6 issues. I think it's a miniseries. So yeah, I think this is going to be really good. I think it might be a little insane, because L. Ewing, great writer, and he takes you on a journey, man. He does. So Ant-Man 1, this comes out next week. Oh, that's me. I don't want to move me. Hold on here. Okay, I think that's about right. We almost had a calamity. Okay, next up. First off, let me say, we have a lot of heavy hitters next week. Like, I looked at all the books I could see in previews and then other websites, and there were a lot of like issue 3, issue 4, further on in other indie books or smaller companies in Marvel and DC. But like these books to me are huge, and I needed to cover them. And I decided that I'm probably only going to do 3 or 4 books a week, not 5 or 6. It's too many pictures to move around. It's too much stuff to keep track of. Right here, to me, is a very exciting book. Yes, it's Batman Detective Comics. However, Ram V, another one of my favorite writers, who's writing... sorry about that. Swamp Thing, Venom, and Carnage. He's writing all of those books, plus Aquaman Andromeda, a limited, I think, 3-issue series that's in a prestige format. Now, Detective Comics. He'll be writing that with a gothic opera. I have no idea what to expect from this book. I am expecting awesomeness. I absolutely love the cover. And I like Ramsey a lot. And I believe it's Raphael Albuquerque. His artwork is excellent. So I'm very much looking forward to this. Yeah, for me, of all the books coming out next week, this is probably one I'm most psyched for, okay? I have to. It's probably the one I am most psyched for. But I'm also a huge Batman fan. It's only fair for me to say that, you know? Heavy hitters do not hit much harder than this one right here. Amazing Spider-Man number 6. Now you're thinking, well, Amazing Spider-Man number 6, that's no big deal. They recently started the numbering over at 1. This is Amazing Spider-Man 900. They've gone all out with, I believe it is 12 different covers. This one is the Humberto Ramos cover, which I think is absolutely amazing. It's the one I will attempt to get. I can't guarantee I will, because there's 12 covers. Of the 12, there were like 4 or 5 I thought were great, but this is my favorite by far. A massive story. I think there's also mini stories in it too. It's a $9.99 book, so expect it to be probably like square bound. And I'm gonna guess 80, 90 pages. That's just a guess. It didn't say how many pages. But the storyline is awesome because it's basically the next chapter from where they were with Amazing Spider-Man number 5, which came out, just like last month, or God, maybe 2 weeks ago. Spider-Man, I believe, is twice a month, actually, Amazing Spider-Man. So they go and they take the Sinister Six, and get ready, Marvel's Avengers fans. They create an Adaptoid out of that. The Sinister Six, some of the most dangerous enemies Spider-Man has faced, now put into an Adaptoid that he has to go up against. I think that's going to be a very cool book. Very cool. Also, the fact that it's the 900th issue of Amazing Spider-Man is insane and awesome. But yeah, I believe that all 3 of those books I'm definitely excited for. But the Detective Comics most, because I don't know what to expect from a Batman Gothic opera. Are there actual lyrics in it? Is there music? Like, if you can read music, are there panels where you could actually sit at a piano and play? I don't know. I'm not expecting that. That would be insane. But I'm very excited to see what this is like when that comes out. And everybody, that was our look. That was our glimpse into the future that we saw through our crystal ball, all the way to 1 week from today. Now, it's a time on the show where I prime the pump. I'm not playing a ghost piano. I am priming the pump for any questions or suggestions, any books you all want me to, talk about or read about. Also, if you don't check this out live, feel free to put it into comments. I was going to say chat, but that's not how that works on YouTube. But yeah, if you don't watch this live, I appreciate you watching it any way you can, live or, later. But feel free to put it in comments. And I prime the pump because we have one other feature before, big discussion, or if there's any discussion at all. If people aren't talkative, there may not be one, but that's cool too. So, our second review of the night, Axe. And this has nothing to do with a body spray. This is not a Marvel / Axe body spray book, which is great. Because there was, I think, a Strive Gum episode of, was it Smallville? I can't remember if it was Strive or what it was, but it's this really bizarre episode involving Pete, and it was considered one of the worst episodes of the series, and it was like a commercial for gum. I kid you not, I'm not making this up. Some of the worst product placement I've seen in anything, movie, TV show, anything. Egregious. Egregious is the word I would use. Anyway, this is not that. This is Avengers X-Men Eternals. Cap, how you doing? I am too. Issue 1 was great. Issue 1 was great. Basically, the Eternals have a bug up their butt, I guess you could say, about the fact that the X-Men are immortal, because that's their thing, and that they feel the X-Men knew they were deviants and kept that from them. So Druig has teamed up with a jilted Moira McTaggart to basically destroy the X-Men. And the opening is this like hanging out date thing between Tony and one of the members of the Eternals, and it turns out it's what you call almost a smash and grab, as Captain Marvel and a now separate Phoenix whisk her away into space and have her contained so she can't use insane eternal powers against them. And they want to find out what the Eternals have planned for the X-Men, and even possibly then, the Avengers when Avengers intervene. And it turns out that Druig is the one behind it, or at least seems to be. But Druig is working with Moira. And in this book, I apologize, Cap. I apologize. There's no way I can talk about it without any spoilers. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to have all the spoilers, but there's certain things that are like unavoidable. So, I'm an avid comic reader, right? In this book, there's something that's a mix between Thanos and Darkseid called Uranos, who I've not heard of before. And he's terrifying. And he goes wild on Araco, which is now what used to be called Mars, before the X-Men colonized it. Spoilers, please. Mike, you know that there's going to probably be some spoilers. My whole thing is I don't want to ruin the entire comic, so I don't cover every element, everything that happens. Just kind of an overview and whether I like it or not. We need a comic with Magneto's story, unless there's one out there that I didn't know. X-Men Red. Magneto is in X-Men Red and had a really wild issue, and I want to say X-Men Red number 3 or 4. I think it was 3. Yeah, so he's on Mars. You know, I think he might be an Immortal X-Men as well. But, like, a lot of the story with him is X-Men Red. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spoil the entire book. But, yes, it's really good. It's really good. It's really intense. Written by Kieran Gillen, another amazing comic book writer. I definitely highly recommend it. One thing to keep in mind, though, save yourself heartache, time, and money. When a crossover like this happens, don't feel you need to get every chapter of it, okay? Don't feel that way. So, real quickly, I'll take a little aside here. If you were to do that... Oh my god, you'd have to get like 35 to 40 books. Everything from like different X-Men books to like Fantastic Four. All these are technically connected to the Axe story arc. Do what I do, okay? Unless money is no problem and time is no problem. Because my god, reading 40 books just for a miniseries is a lot. That's a massive commitment of time and money. Just get the books you're currently reading and the main flagship book, which is this. Now, in this case, there's this, so I believe it's 6 issues, Judgment Day 1 through 6, and there's Judgment Day Omega, which will end the story. Okay? So, 7 issues right there, 7 books, and then if you're reading certain X-Men books, read that. The big important things that need to be covered will be covered in the main book. Things that happen outside you might see from different angles. You might see it sooner than others, sooner than other books will show you, or from a different perspective. But to have the story and to be sane, just focus on the books you're currently reading and the flagship book. So, for instance, I'm a huge fan of Venom. Venom had the King in Black story arc, which was phenomenal, by the way. One of the best comic book crossovers I've read in a long time. I just got Venom. I got the King in Black book. And I don't even know if I remember I got Amazing Spider-Man at that point. But just like 2 or 3 books, not all of them. And yeah, it's really cool. Where's the hype for Comic-Con? You missed it. You got here late. That's on you. It's on you. No, I showed Eternia. So the He-Man Masters of the Universe is getting an Eternia playset. I don't think there's a price for it yet, but it was just shown at San Diego. It is absolutely insane. But yeah, that was a lot of the San Diego Comic-Con hype. I still think there's stuff they're ready to announce that they haven't announced yet. Now, I primed the pump. Do we have any questions or suggestions? Any books you want me to review? Anything else? Misplaced. Let me look up something real quick. Because one of the best Magneto stories I've read... I gotta get the name. Yes. New X-Men by Grant Morrison. I cannot give you details, but I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, it ends up to be one of the best Magneto storylines. Also, I think I would say probably House of M. What else would everyone else suggest for Magneto? Great Magneto storylines. I warn you, though, New X-Men is amazing, but it's Grant Morrison, and the man is crazy. He is considered by many to be one of the absolute best comic book writers. Like, at another level, but he's kind of crazy. So it'll be a very different take on X-Men, but it's really, really good. Sure. Let's see here. 1 second. Let me say something. Let's see. New X-Men. I want to say it's about, God, maybe 15 years old. Yeah, just really simple. New X-Men. And I'll be honest, I don't know if it's all like in print or what's going on with New X-Men. Like it might be something you might have to read digitally on the app. Give me 1 second, everybody. I don't mind looking this up. This is comic related. I'm interested to know if it's in print too, actually. Well, there's a new X-Men Omnibus coming out March of next year, but it's gigantic and it's $125. Okay, here we go. Volume 2 is $34.99. Volume 3 is in print. I have no idea what's going on with Volume 1. This doesn't make any sense. Volume 1 has a much crazier price. Okay. Hold on here. Where's this coming from? Okay, you might be able to get Volume 1 for like around 20, but apparently I don't know if it's in print anymore. It's some secondhand seller. I don't know. But it's a really good story, and you'd probably be able to read it digitally on like the, was it Marvel Unlimited? But yeah, it's old. Like I said, it's like around 15 years old. But it's still phenomenal. So, any other questions or suggestions? Any books you want me to read or review? I know for sure we'll do Detective Comics. I want to say it's issue 1062, I think is the number, where Ram V takes over. We'll definitely review that. I'd like to review the new Spider-Man, but if it's 90 pages or more, I don't know if I'll have the time. Also, honorable mention, Superman Space Age. It's by award-winning writer Mark Russell, and it's pretty wild because the solicit makes it sound like when he reveals himself as an alien, it's sort of like when a member of LGBT comes out. And Mark Russell is a gay writer. So I think it's going to be a really cool, interesting take, not only on Superman, but the 1960s and the space race. So it sounds really neat, and Mike Allred is an excellent artist. Fantastic. And he's doing the art for this book. Now, the reason I didn't show it is that also it's a bit more expensive. It's $9.99. It's going to be like in 3 volumes, I think. It might be more than that, in a prestige format. But it looks really good. And Mark Russell, very clever writer, did this really cool Snaggletooth miniseries. and a Flintstone miniseries. And I know what you're thinking, but like, really awesome. Like, so many clever ideas and taking these things that you would never expect to be profound and making them profound. Like, really good. So I'm certain that this one, you know, not only with Mark's writing, but Mike Allred's art is going to be great. Everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I would like to thank Doomkiller HD as well as Doom Squad Gaming for letting me borrow their channel. Thank you very much. And yeah, I will see you hopefully next week, 8 p.m. Central next Wednesday, another episode. So yeah, thank you very much for either watching this craziness live or watching it, you know, at your convenience. I appreciate both. Thank you. Have a good one, everybody. And before I let you all go, I am actually hosting the Doom Squad Gaming block party on Friday. I'll be starting a little earlier for myself, 6 p.m. Central, and that'll be on Twitch, twitch.tv/Hoarder Gamer, and I'll be doing a bit of multiverses. Is it a webisode? I don't know what that means in this context, so I will say no. But everybody, thank you very much. And it's going to be a fun day on Friday. A number of us are going to be streaming Multiversus, and yeah, it's going to be really cool. I don't know if it's going to be like an all-day type of thing, but I'll be hosting at like 6 p.m. Central. But yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Misplaced. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Cap. And again, I'm sorry about the spoiler, but I don't know how I could have covered any of that without any spoilers. This person talked to this person, and then this happened. Like, too many, what you would say, shadowy figures doing things that it would be a nightmare for me to attempt to explain it. Misplaced. I come for the spoilers. Again, I do try not to spoil everything. I like to keep some surprises for everybody. So. But thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll see you hopefully next week. Or maybe on Twitch. Who knows? Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.